Damia.
Ya, madam.
Nanti remind juga student untuk buka kamera lah. Dan pasang background. Sebab kita ada bagi juga background yang Dr. Syamala ada share kan student dia background untuk yang bukan moderator and speaker.
Sepanjang ke, madam?
Kalau boleh lah sebab speaker tu dia takut dia cakap sorang-sorang.
Oh, okey.
Okay, Iman, Irfan, are you here? Okay. So speaker dah ada dengan kita, Damia. Apa khabar, Iman? Tak.
Okay, ni dengar tak? Tu mic teruk sikit.
Dengar.
Dengar. Is my mic okay, madam?
Macam kurang jelas sikit.
Okay, jap.
Maybe
Okay, how about this one? Sama je ni.
okay kot, ke suara awak yang perlahan.
Suara saya yang pelan
Tak tidur malam buat slide. Weekend cuti Iman?
Weekend, yep, saya cuti weekend.
So kerja 5 days a week lah?
Yep, 4 days actually.
4 days?
Yeah.
So satu hari?
Jumaat.
Jumaat pun cuti?
Apa dia?
Jumaat pun cuti?
Jumaat cuti. Yeah. Mic saya perlahan lagi sekejap
Okay, student kata okay je sound.
Okay
Boleh.
je. Okay. Right. Nanti mostly madam will be ramai like which part or which semester?
Sorry?
Nanti ramai dalam which part? Part 3 ke? Part 4?
Oh,
Part 5?
part 4.
Part 4.
Sebab sekarang diorang LI, part 5 diorang LI. Kalau dulu you all kan ambil masa part 5 kan?
Yep.
So diorang ambil security ni masa part 4.
Okay.
So kita encourage semua orang join lah. Maksudnya part 1, part 2. Tapi yang kita make it compulsory part 4. Part 4
Okay.
yang register for ITT 320 Internet Security yang Syamalah course.
Information security, betul.
Information Security.
Computer security. Computer security yang kita belajar ITT 320.
Dulu you pun ambil ITT 320 kan Iman?
Tak payah. So nanti macam mana how this is gonna work like
Okay,
we present ke apa macam mana?
We have moderator.
Yeah.
So moderator will start the session. Okay. And maybe kita akan ada moderator untuk interrupt you ke, nak tanya ke, raise up question daripada audience.
Okay.
And maybe she has her own question ke.
Boleh. Yeah.
So kalau you nak stop, nak tanya audience pun it's okay.
Boleh.
Okay, kita tunggu 6 minutes. Syamalah berapa ramai student dah? 77.
Ada lagi.
Maksudnya yang ambil apa, information computer security tu diorang belajar apa je?
Dekat computer security, diorang belajar normal things regarding dengan komputer lah, yang attack jenis attack yang DOS, lepas tu how to prevent kena ada IDS, very general notes, something like that. But during the lab time, we will like expose them with the coding dekat command prompt, to do the basic command saja. And then we will teach and learn, kita akan ajar mereka SQL injection. The most important is semester ni diorang dapat project yang kena buat. They need to do the penetration testing.
I see.
So even for myself also a little bit challenging, because kita nak pergi ke platform yang legal kan. So now I exposing them towards the Try Hack Me punya website tu. Saya yang I already go to learn, get to know how it's work, because first
Wow.
time.
Okay.
I haven't know. Some of the student already asked me, and then they are, I don't know lah, but one or two student already asked me how to do. So when we do the exercise in the Try Hack Me tu, memang lagi broad lah from theory, and then we get a platform to do the practice.
Okay. Faham.
Maybe I might small request, if got more time, maybe can explain them how actually they can do the penetration testing on that part, because I told them you can ask question, but some of the students will be very shy to ask question. So
Yeah.
my request, maybe you can touch on that part, help them little bit on there.
Can.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, it's almost 100, madam. It's quite. How many were the target datang?
We are expecting 200 plus.
Okay.
2 to 300 supposedly. Okay, sebab this semester kita open ITT 320 group tu banyak lah, more than previous semester group.
Okay.
Kali ni kita kecilkan CSC 5 to 2 groups, so the rest all of them taking ITT 320.
Okay.
But I really hope yang part 2 pun should be joining us to get exposure.
Okay.
Okay, 2 minit lagi kita start ya, Damia.
Ya.
Boleh dengar tak suara saya?
Boleh.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to today's alumni sharing session titled Breaking into Cybersecurity, a Student's Journey from Ethical Hacking to Employment. So I'm Nur Damia Batrisha binti Muhammad Fauzi, your moderator for this session. And I'm truly delighted to see such an enthusiastic turnout of students who are curious about what the field of cybersecurity looks like, not just in theory, but in real world careers. So cybersecurity has become one of the most in-demand fields in today's digital world. From protecting networks to ethical hacking, it offers many exciting and meaningful career paths. So one of the fastest growing specialization is penetration testing, where ethical hackers test systems for vulnerabilities before malicious hackers can exploit them. So today, we're going to dive into this exciting path by hearing from someone who has truly walked the journey. So our speaker today is someone who's made the leap from student to cybersecurity professional. It is my honor to introduce Mr. Iman Irfan bin Hisshamudin, a proud alumnus of UiTM. So he graduated with a diploma in computer science from UiTM Segamat and a bachelor of computer science with honors in computer networks from UiTM Shah Alam. So currently he is a security verification and testing where he works on high impact cybersecurity projects for major clients, including those in the banking sectors such as the Grab Digibank. So not only that, Mr. Iman has made a name for himself in various cybersecurity competitions, including the first place in Worldskills Malaysia 2021 in cybersecurity, the first place in F-Secure Cybersecurity Competition 2021, and many more top 3 finishes in SCFS and hackathons across Southeast Asia. So let us all give a warm welcome to Mr. Iman Irfan, and the floor is yours, Mr. Iman.
Thank you, Damia. Hello and hi, everyone. My name is Iman Irfan. I would like to say thank you to ITM and Madam Jurati for giving the opportunity to speak here in this session. So I think, can I share my screen or? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, let me stop presenting.
Yep. Thanks. One moment. Can you see my screen? Okay. So all right. So I just wanna give a disclaimer before we dive in and goes into more in detail of what I'm gonna talk about, right? I just wanna set some expectations here lah. This, however, is not a blueprint. This is just my story, my journey or my experience. So sometimes it comes to experience, it can be like a messy, lot of trial and error, and fail here and there. But my goal here is simple lah. I just wanna walk through with everyone that in here in this session, so we can talk more about the directions, setting goals, and how to approach challenges along the way in pursuing a cybersecurity journey lah, especially in ethical hacking industry lah. So my hope is that in this particular sharing sessions, it will help you, every one of you here, to craft your own path lah in this industry. So with that being said, I think we go on to the a bit in depth lah of who am I and what I do currently. So I've been before I am a penetration tester, or the bahasa pasarnya adalah, I would say, like a hacker or something like that. But I was a software engineer firstly. This full stack software engineer that I work with Colonel Becker is actually I was doing a part-time job when I was in my degree. So I was juggling my degree with my part-time job. doing the software engineer. But I want to emphasize a point here that even though I started as a software engineer, but being a software engineer kind of helps me in a way to being I would say a decent pen tester lah, or security engineer, sama more so lah. All right, so okay, after I started the software engineering journey, and I thought I wanted to focus more on which is the one that I planned from the very beginning of my diploma, which is the pen tester lah, which is secret pen tester, or I would say hacker. So let me ask you. Let me start with apologies. I'm actually not ready for this presentations, but no worries. Okay, let me revert my work back. Okay, I think we can take a step back and talk a little bit during my diploma days on how I approach stuff, or how do I plan my career lah, to become who am I today lah, what I've become today lah, I would say. So I think many of you have heard about Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, and I think nowadays there's a lot of hacking platforms that you can see and try. But back in those days, I think the one that I do the most was actually Hack the Box lah. So back then it wasn't something similar like currently what we have currently lah. So back then it was very unpolished. The platform was very unpolished. Even if you want to register to make an account of even when you want to use the Hack the Box or make an account of Hack the Box, you have to actually hack your way through through the platform. So there's no simple way like just register a user with an email, set password, like that lah. So that was dulu lah back then. So but my point is that particular moment lah kan, when I found the platform of Hack the Box, right? If I remember correctly, that was during my part 1 actually, the part where I met Madam Zurati. Yeah. So during that time, I just stumbled about the Hack the Box lah, and I was curious what's about Hack the Box is, and I was trying to find the register, where to register about it and stuff like that. Oh, just for context, before I know what Hack the Box is, before I joined my diploma, I already studied some certain area lah, which is I would say in the Linux lah. I already practiced my Linux skill on over the wire lah. I think you guys heard about over the wire. Have you heard about it, Damia?
I'm sorry, but I don't think I know about that.
No worries.
Even my own self.
No worries. So I think later we can you guys can explore more on over the wire lah. It's very, I would say it's been that is my starting point lah, I would say, over the wire, where I learned about Linux command, CMD command or whatever, ls, cd, stuff like that lah. So yeah, that's my starting point lah. And then I heard about Hack the Box, and I was curious to register it. And if I remember correctly, it took me about a week or so to even register an account and Hack the Box. That being said, was while I was in part 1 lah. So then after I think we can talk about this more later. I prepared something more on hacking platform where you can practice about Hack the Box lah. But I just want to point that curiosity is what leads me to to whatever I am now, I guess. Okay.
Be a script kiddies.
Yeah, from script, yeah, the script kiddie, like copying others, like literally I'm googling how to register hack the box, stuff like that lah. So yeah. All right. So currently I'm working at GS Bank, or rather Grab Digibank. Okay. Here's the thing I want to talk about here is actually Grab Digibank and GX Bank and Digital Asia is two different. Although I'm doing the same thing, but I would say it's two different company, two different environment, two different experience for myself lah. So why do I say this actually? Which is comes to the next step lah. Actually, how can we plan ourselves, or rather plan our I would say career. Like I think you guys, of course, you guys want to plan what you guys want to be, what you guys want to do for the rest of your life, I guess. Can so we need to plan lah. We need to make a proper plan of what we actually want and how can we achieve that lah. So the way I did back then when I was in diploma, after I knew about hacking and stuff, like the young and naive me back then was very confident that I want to be a hacker one day, like an ethical hacker one day, but I don't even know how. So I'm gonna share with you how I did it, how I planned, how I preemptively uh, uh, thoughts of work my way up to achieve what I want lah. Okay, so how can we start to plan lah? Okay, we need to have forward thinking. We have to be preemptive. What I mean by forward thinking is you have to set a goal like maybe 10 years from now, right? So I think I was like 18 years, 19 years old, and I just ask myself in 10 years what I want to be, in what industry I want to work in what kind of things that I want to work with. Do I just want to work for money, or work for things that I love lah, which is in this case, which I think hacking lah. Okay, hacking and computer network and stuff like that. Okay, let me scroll my script real quick from ChatGPT. Okay, so as I was mentioning earlier, when I was starting out, I asked myself lah, what kind of things I want to do and what I want to be, right? So there's two ways that we can think of this. Okay, first we need to know the industry itself. So how can we know the industry? How can we know what it takes to be in the industry? And more questions to that is how can we be good at it lah, and excel and perform and be a star in the industry that HR or any other people, technical people knows you lah, stuff like that. So I'm digging through the internet. I Google a lot of things. I read a lot of things about the industry, which is the cybersecurity lah. And then I can conclude to conclusions that they just know that this is not a base, not a standard or thing that you should look the way in the industry lah. This is my personal opinion or personal view of how I see things lah. Okay, so with that being said, there's two types of roles lah in cybersecurity, or rather in ethical hacking lah, I would say. So there's two. There's the technical roles and there are also executive roles. Okay, so what is technical and what is executive roles lah, you may ask. So technical roles is like myself now, what I'm currently doing now is you can see here in the slide that I prepared last night. Penetration tester, security engineer, red teamer, malware analyst, and bug bounty hunter. And so it's it's actually a very, although these both technical and executive roles are in the same industry, which is cybersecurity, and involved in ethical hacking, right? But in the executive roles, security analyst, risk analyst, governance and compliance, and CISO, it's very different from the technical. So you need to ask yourself, in what a section I would say roles that you wanna become. Are you more inclined to do the more in technical roles, like what I do now, or maybe you're a academic scholar, you're a scholar, you're academic excellence, right? You excel in theory, you're good at making decisions and stuff like that. Maybe you can become executive roles. There's a lot of a job opportunity lah in this industry, in this cybersecurity industry. And note that this is only on the on the ethical hacking side. There's a lot more. There's a SOC, there's a blue team, there's a red team. So red team and blue team is a different. Red team is what I'm currently doing is more to an attacking, finding vulnerability and hacking stuff and report stuff, and so people can remediate. And also there's a blue team where more to defending. Like I think most of these job roles is being offered dekat bank lah, dekat bank, insurance company, big banks. And in GX Bank also, we do have SOC role as well. So you can imagine lah that oh yeah, I forgot to talk about my daily day-to-day job lah. But I think it's okay. We can talk about this first. So like I said, you need to know technical and executive, which one that you love to do most lah, I would say. So I want to ask a question to any of you, maybe Damia, I guess. What are you in a cybersecurity inclined or what?
Sorry, the roles?
Yeah, I mean, are you interested in cybersecurity, or are you planning to pursue other stuff?
As for now, I haven't fully decided yet, but
Okay.
yeah, cybersecurity is one on the list.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
I understood. So if you, sorry, may I ask, are you a cybersecurity student here in UiTech?
No,
Do you
I
take the course?
took the paradigm course.
Oh, okay. Cool. Right, so no worries. So, okay, the first step is to know what kind of thing that you want to do. And let me see the next step. Okay, the next step is this one. Okay, after you identify what you want to do, right? So, for example, I think back then I was, of course, definitely I want to do the technical side. I want to do more the hands-on experience and do the shiny stuff lah, which is hacking. And the next step is to know your company actually. So bear in mind the way that I make this slide is from forward to backward lah. I mean, from what I want to be, and then backwards to what I need to do to achieve that lah. So that's a preemptive that I mentioned earlier, or rather forward thinking stuff that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, after you know your after you know your things that you want to do, and then you also need to know what kind of companies that you're aiming for actually. So this is actually important that I want to talk about. Maybe we can start. I'm going to share a bit my day-to-day job between Vigilant Asia and GX Bank. Okay, so these two companies are different actually. So GX Bank is actually an end user company, and Vigilant Asia is actually a consultant company lah. So the difference is very different lah actually. The way that you do your day-to job, what you need to know, what you need to learn, what you need to do every day. Yeah, it's different. So I will talk about firstly on the vendor side lah, on being a consultant lah. Okay. So being a consultant, I would say it's easier than being an end user role in end user company as a cybersecurity pen test or ethical hacker. So yeah, so being a consultant, right? So you are basically definitely you are working on a vendor company lah. So I've listed here some few vendors company, Deloitte, Firmers, the GMS. Maybe later if you're wanted to apply for your intern, right? You can reach out to this consultant. I would suggest, however, to start your career if you ever in a hacking and ethical hacking, right? To start career in the consultant companies. Why? Is because consultant give you a lot of variety, a lot of projects, a lot of opportunity that you can learn compared of being in an end user company. But like I said, this is just my opinion, my 2 cents lah. This is just what I think. So other people might think otherwise. So yeah. So take whatever, just take. If you think that you agree with me, then so be it. Don't agree with me, then so be it. Being a consultant is actually so my day to day job at Malaysia, right? So you'll be handled. So let's say you are a mid senior role like in Malaysia. So your team lead will pass you. There's another project. So in your team, there's 4 people that doing the same thing as you. So your team lead and the other 3 is same as you lah, which doing the hacking itself lah. So your team lead will pass to you certain a project lah. So and then ask you, this is a project about web applications, mobile application testing, or rather everything in between, like everything that you need to do, web app, web mobile, and source code review is in the one project. So your team lead will ask, who wants to take this project lah? At least in Malaysia lah. That's how we do stuff. Okay, so usually we work in a team of 2. So 2 people will be working on the same project. So you will be working with your other colleague lah. And back then when I was in Indonesia, I was working with Arab people. So I'm in my team, in my red team, fantastic team. I was the only Malay guy there, and I was working with the Arab people. So it was fully remote, and back then, so what is it? So yeah, so the project, so the day-to-day job for being a consultant is first is to scope the project, to make a scope from the client. When client give a requirement, right? So you have to scope the main days of all your efforts lah. Maybe I can explain more on this. Is something like let's say your lecturer give you a project and you're in a team of 2 or 4 or something. So you start to mitigate or delegate tasks on who's going to do this, who's going to do that, and how many days we should be completed this, and who's going to present, and which is in this career, in this work, which is in the work area is presenting to the customer lah, to the client lah. So you have to do all the mandates, scoping, like that. So it's not really fully technical. Fully like you just do hacking stuff lah. So you will need to know to talk, to communicate, to plan, to talk to people lah, which is the client lah. So the client will be the technical person. So since you are a technical person as well, so you will need to know the technical stuff as well lah. So mandates, scoping, and then doing the assessment itself, and then present the report. That's the main 3 due diligence lah, what you do in a project. So normally one project will depends on how big the scope is. So normally I would say around 2 to 3 weeks including creating the report, engineering the report, and pass it to the client and make the presentation to the client. So that's how being a consultant is lah. So after they finish the project, and then another project came in, and then you rinse and repeat. So that's how it become. But I wanna touch a bit on the technical aspect lah. Every project, being in a consultant company, right? It's different lah. It's very I would say what's the word diversified, what's the word? Diversified or whatever it is. Like my point is a different word, different kind of projects lah. Every project, different of kind of things that you will face on each project. So you'll never see the same thing unless you do a same project for a long time lah. There's a case lah in some company I know that my friends in, which is from, that usually happens if you're working as a consultant company in a big company. For example, on the Big Four, Deloitte. So if you're working on Deloitte, right? So it can be possible that you will be working on the same project for, I don't know, maybe 1 year. So we have to think about that actually. Do you want to do the same project? Because trust me, you will get boring very, very quick if you become a consultant, right? And if you take a look on the same project for like 1 year or 2 years, you'll be boring. There's no like career growth in that lah actually. But who am I to say or make a conclusion, right? So like I said just now lah, in your starting career, I would suggest to be a consultant and start from a smaller company lah. At least from my opinion lah, because that actually will boost your technical view, your technical aspects in so many ways. Like for example, if I can say in Indonesia, I was involved in so many things. Like for example, here is I involved in source code review, red teaming. I involved in network pen test. I involved in mobile pen test. But then after a while, my team lead acknowledge where my strong point is, which is on the source code review and on the mobile pen test lah. So after 1 year, around 1 year, and my team lead said that okay, any projects that related to source code review or mobile app pen test, I will be handling it lah. So that's the point where I started to handling the projects alone lah. By alone, it's not that my team lead will like macam lepas tangan like that, right? He'll still monitor what I do. I'll still update him in daily basis lah. What decision has I made, what the things that I found during my assessment. So you can imagine lah, the day-to-day life in being consultant is more on the technical side lah. You can have the opportunity to do the hacking itself lah. Okay, so and also the client is sometimes you can hack a bank, you can have the opportunity to hack an insurance company. I also have some experience of hacking a hospital, be it a government hospital or a swasta hospital. So from that alone, like you doing a pen test on a different kind of industry, like which is a healthcare, a banking sector, or insurance sector, you can see a lot of different things lah in those of different big sectors lah. You can see how well certain sectors in the area is, how well they manage to they create their system. So for example, like a government project, right? So you can see a pattern here, like most of the government project is not really secure, but that's where your job, your roles comes in lah. You're doing a pen test to points out, hey, your system is really not secure, and anyone can do this and do that, and here's how to fix it. That's your role. That's your job. That's why this ethical hacker is ada lah role. This role is wujud lah, I would say. Okay, that's on the vendor side lah. And then on the end user side, which is I'm currently now working in. So end user is actually it's very interesting actually, I would say. You need to go deep lah in being an end user company. You need to know your stuff. You need to know your product, or rather your system, or rather your architecture inside out, because you are a security guy, you know. So in the end user company, right, there's a lot of department, right, in the company. So for example, I'll be in the risk, compliance, and cybersecurity department, which is cybersec lah, right? Then there's a AI engineering department, AI data department. There's a fraud department. Then there's an engineering department, which is the software engineers lah, the developer itself. And then there's a HR. And there's and tech user. And tech user is like the one that setting up the stuff, the employees punya laptop lah kan. So my point is there's a lot of department. So on everyone is in every department, right? They will anggap you like you're the expert in what you do lah. For example, here we are in cybersec, right? So anything that related in cybersec, people will ask you, people will come to you, hey, so for example, like maybe a data engineer team might come to you, hey, I've created this AI modeling tools that scrape the internet and then help our scrape the internet and give a feedback or overview how our customer for our product is lah. And then they will ask us, is there any procedure, any security assessment or risk that they need to know about? So that way it comes lah in the end user stuff. So you will suggest to them like, okay, this is the thing that, I mean, of course, in a big company there's a policy, right? There's a policy, so you just need to follow the policy. But I think it's here in GX Bank, right? It's very rough edges lah in all of the places. So I would say currently while I'm in GX Bank here, things are a bit not really not really what do you call, not really handled, not really structured lah, I would say. Yeah, not really structured in a way. So you have to think about, you're the one that have to take the initiative on how to do stuff. But of course, whatever decision that you make, whatever initiative that you make, you have to ask your head of department lah, or your boss, okay? But my point is, being an end user company, you have to go very, very deep. You have to understand your system architecture very, very well, because people will ask you here and there. And as for BAU, BAU stands for business as usual, or I would say your day-to-day job lah in an end user. If I mentioned just now from a vendor perspective, right, our day-to-day job is scoping mandates, doing a pattern assessment, and then present to client, right? That's the BAU. That's a normal day-to-day. That's a normal process lah on being a consultant or being working in a vendor company. But rather on the end user is the BAU is actually depends on the company itself. So for example, in GX Bank here, my BAU is to pen test the mobile application, which is the GX Bank application and stuff, or rather a Grab application and stuff lah. So it depends. So we will be releasing. Wait, should I talk about that? Okay. So in here in GX Bank, right? So the way that they set up, right? The way they set up for ethical hacker to do their job is bi-weekly. which is 2 weeks in 2 weeks in one time. You'll do assessment pen test lah on the mobile application itself. So we have two applications, GX Bank and also the Grab application lah. So, but mostly we will test on the GX Bank stuff lah. GX Bank, since I'm working directly on the Grab Digi Bank, so mainly I will be test on the GX Bank application itself. So I want to ask, have you guys heard of GX Bank? Or have you any of you used GX Bank application? Maybe Dania, Damia.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the GX Bank is it's a digital bank, I guess, that I think it's the first GX Bank. It's the first digital bank in Malaysia that been approved by BNM. Sorry, a little promoting my company. So the point is, doing the ethical hacking as an end user is yeah, we have a question, Damia.
We got a question. Oh, sorry.
Someone raised a hand. Is it?
Someone raised it. Muhammad Arif Fikri Nur Hisham.
Yeah. Maybe you can I can take a moment first here. Maybe you can have a quick. Yep.
Can I ask the question?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. What in your opinion about the student who want to pursue in cybersecurity, but in certificate, not in degree will prefer, because they have two certificate in cybersecurity, which is certificate that private certificate such as CH and CompTIA, and then one more from government, which is the from degree one. So which one you are more prefer for that?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I actually prepared exactly the slide for that, exactly the questions. So if you don't mind, maybe we can talk about it later on the slides. Can we do that? So I just wanna go back in the slide. So maybe anyone have a, maybe we can I can answer your questions maybe later on the slide. Okay. Maybe anyone have a question. Maybe Dami have a question, anything that related to what I've been discussed here, like technical executive roles and end user personal companies.
I have a question.
Yes, madam, please.
Iman, are you saying that you are employed, you have more than one employers at the moment?
Huh? What makes you think that, madam?
Because you are saying that Vigilant Asia different company than JX Bank and Grab, right? So,
Yeah.
And you are working for both, right?
In my past lah, yes. Yeah.
Oh, you're not working with Vigilant Asia anymore?
No, I stopped already. Yeah, I think I worked there for 3 years.
Okay, I thought you're still working with Vigilant Asia.
No.
So you just okay.
Yeah. No worries. But I do know people that work double job lah. Yeah. But I think it's not for me lah. It's too busy. It's too complicated. You know, you have to juggle. So I don't know how that my friend being able to juggle it. So yeah. So here's the list of the end user. I think the question that what's it called? Arif, is it? Yeah, Arif asked. Okay, we can talk about that later in the slides. Okay, we'll talk about certifications. Right. So I think we can. I want to talk about this end user stuff. So there's a lot of end user company lah. Grab, GX Bank, Dell, Razer, and this is a two new one, Right Bank, Ion Bank. So I would say, so plan your career wisely lah. So ask yourself, where do you want to end up? Where do you want to settle in? Do you want to settle as an end user company, or do you want to settle in a consultant company? So that's actually a crucial decisions actually. As for me, if you ask me, I will want to settle in an end user company lah, because being a consultant is like a never ending job lah, you know. You need to constantly know your client system, know your client stuff, and so every 3 months or so, like you need to be constantly be learning, be studying a lot, need to know a lot of things lah. But if you are young, go ahead lah. There's no problem with that, because it's better to what is it called, hustle too young lah. So the more project you do, the more exposure that you have. But I would say for myself, in end user is the way I want to go lah, to settle in. Okay. For which company, I have no idea yet actually. Yeah. So actually, I want to talk about the company. You also need to consider the company's benefit lah. Although for example, right, so Invigilance Malaysia can offer a lot of technical exposure to you, right? And EGX Bank can offer a lot of maybe in a corporate way of being a technical person in a digital bank. So as you know, digital bank is rising up and climbing up of the technology trend here from Grab, and I think Grab believe that digital bank is the way to go rather than the conventional bank, because I think compared to conventional bank, which is CMB, my bank it's very slow, very tedious process that people like us have to go through, which is quite the opposite for digital bank. It's very quick. So for example, you want to make an account, just register online to have an account. You want to make a loan or anything, you make like a loan, cash or something, you can make an account and so be it. Just update your KWSP account, your bank statement, and you're good to go for your lending. The other thing that I want to talk about here, in my experience in GX Bank, right? I've been here I'm quite new here actually. I think around 6 months actually in GX Bank. So I would say that working in the fintech, in the fintech industry is very fast paced lah. You have no time to you actually have no time to relax lah. You know, you always have to keep moving. You know, keep moving in our line of work, right? So by keep moving, what I mean is we have to keep updated on the current threat, or the current malware, maybe current attack vector in the internet. So you always have to up your game lah. For example, right now I think from the beginning of year, I've been studying a lot of AI pen test lah, AI more to hacking the AI stuff lah. So I would say more to like prompt injections, model injection, stuff like that lah. So I've been working. So for my past 3 years, I never touched or learned anything about AI pen test or stuff like that. But in here, this kind of thing give me exposure to that lah. But of course lah, I'm not doing this alone. I have some support, which is I'm lucky that my boss, my head of department is very supportive. Although he's a bit strict in a way, but he's very supportive in a way that I can improve myself lah for the past 6 months here lah. And I would say that my game of hacking or pen testing AI considerably improved from the beginning of the year, where I didn't know anything about doing AI pen test. But now I can do a lot of. I found a lot of vulnerabilities, or like a critical, highest impact, medium vulnerabilities in pen test. But yeah, speaking about severity of vulnerabilities, right? So I want to talk about the like critical vulnerabilities, high vulnerabilities, medium vulnerabilities, and low vulnerabilities. So all of this actually has a different kind of approach to how you do the pen test itself. So which is come to my next slide is to find your niche actually. So I to do talk about which company you need to know and the thing that you have to do in order to settle down, or which industry you want to work in. So now we need to talk about our niche lah. Okay, so there's a lot of in cybersecurity, in pen testing, right? So there's a lot of broad area that you can find your niches lah. I think just now uh, uh, yeah, she mentioned about SQL injection, right? So SQL injection itself is a type of vulnerability itself. Okay, so SQL injection can happen in many places now. So, but mostly will be happening on web applications and mobile applications. So, my point here is try to master. Sorry, try not to master everything lah. Pick something that you. I mean, try everything first, of course, and then see which one that you enjoy the most doing. Okay, don't try to master everything. I think that's the mistake that I do lah back then. I would say that I try to do. I try to. I don't know. I don't know what I think back then. I was young and naive. I try to master. I will try to know. I literally want to know everything, but that's the thing. One cannot know everything lah. Okay, so just pick something that you enjoy the most. If you ask me, I enjoy source code review, and I can do mobile app. I can do web app, which is a different approach. I mean, similar approach lah. Yeah. So pick your niche. So when you know so how can you know your niche? How can you? So you guys are a student, right? How can you know? Okay, I want to do source code review. Okay, I want to do mobile pen test. Maybe I want to do cloud security. How can you identify that this is the thing that you want to do? Okay, so in my experience, that is doing things like this lah. Hack the box, try hack me, over the wire. Maybe doing a bug bounty program in HackerOne or Bugcrowd. Okay, maybe talk to people in the industry, create your LinkedIn and try to connect to every possible that you think relevant to the thing that you want to pursue in cybersecurity. So let's say you wanna go for red teamer or web app pen test, right? So just create a LinkedIn, try search or anyone that have this role, connect with them, maybe talk with them on how's the what's it called, the process, the environment, on how he managed to secure his job. I mean, that's at least what I do lah. When I was in diploma, I create my LinkedIn, I connect to everyone, literally everyone. I just connect. Even in HR, I also connect with people lah, so people knows me lah. So that was my diploma, and I can say that it's fruitful lah. For when I want to find my intern when I want to find my job because I already know people and people knows about me. I mean, not knows about me lah, but rather that I've talked to them before and I've connected to them before. So we talked before, so we might have a mutual connections there, I would say. So find your niche, right? So what you can do, what you can do after you find your niche, right? You can again, this is 100% depends on your self initiative, your curiosity, how much you want to do this, how much time you want to spend on this, actually, of doing this. I think if you are in part 2 or part 1, you are still in a good track. And if you see this, and during my part 1, is what I did was literally playing this every day and every night. okay, I'm not an academic Excel student, I would say. I'm not really good at studying, I guess. I'm more to hands-on, and this is the case lah. So ethical hacking is hands-on, right? So that's where I shine, right? So I not hate lah. I would say I don't really like to I would say excel in academic lah. So but then back then I was doing hack the box lah, mainly every day and every night until I didn't come to medium jurities class. Yeah, because I overslept. Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah. So yeah, it's really up to you lah. Actually, how much you gonna to spend your time is lah. But I try, but the more time you spend here, the more excel you're gonna be lah in hands-on and hacking lah. Because hacking is a hands-on thing, right? It's a technical thing, right? Unless you wanna be executive roles, right? So you might as well study your academic and whatever in the syllabus lah. Okay. But as for technical, do hack the box. Hack the box is very it's a bit harder than try hack me. I would say, because try hack me is like a guided, you know. I think most of you knows about try hack me. They explain first what is this about, and then they give things. Okay, do this and do that. So it's very like pegang tangan punya platform lah. Okay. So, but I would say that's not for me. I like to go for things that do that stuff that will definitely waste my time. I will stuck on that particular problem for weeks or 2 weeks. But I would say both have their advantages lah. You know, try me is it can help you go progressively smoother along the way. You know, you can learn, you can read, and you can learn, and you can learn by doing also. But hack the box is more like it's time consuming. It's very harsh for you, towards me also, because when I first do hack the box, right, I really literally don't know anything. What is hacking? What is how to do a pen test, how to do a SQL injection. I literally have to scour my way through and read a lot of technical blogs here and there. So yeah, but I think it was very fruitful for me because along the way that I do a lot of trial and error, right? It's not wasted like that lah. I learn all the things that I read, all the things that I do, that I try, but fail. It doesn't feel like macam sia-sia punya fail. I still learn, you know. So I still learn back. So in the future, in the CTF, right? When I do CTF, right? For example, yeah. So we can come here actually. So in CTF, that's where this my time that I spend a lot of time here actually helps me lah during my CTF. So my CTF my first ever CTF is actually during my part 3. This one, the Pont Till Dawn CTF 2019. So this is the first CTF that I entered actually, and I have no idea lah. I was alone back then. I was going there physical alone. I have literally nobody there. But I just go and see what it's like to do a CTF, right? But then because I have do a lot of hack the box before, like for the previous 2 semesters, right? For part 1, part 2, right? It actually helps me a lot lah. To my surprise, actually, I didn't expect to even win this. Actually, I was there. Was just like want to see CTF, but I was surprised that all of the questions and all the things that I learned before to write the box, right? Everything is there. Everything is like all the things that I do before all the sleepless night. Everything is things that I've already done. So it's quite easy for me lah from there. So I believe that I finished 3rd place here in Pont Till Dawn CTF. And I think the first one is from Uni KL, and the second one is from UiTM actually, but he's our senior actually. His name is Sharil. Is in degree inshallah, which I later met when I masuk degree inshallah. He become my senior, and he coached me a lot lah during my degree time for CTF and hacking stuff. So yeah, my point being is whatever that you do, that you learn during your free time, don't think that even if you start for weeks, right, for 2 weeks or say like months, don't ever think that it's a waste of time or anything. Just knows that it will benefit you in the long run, I would say. Okay. So other than CTF, I also joined a hackathon. I think this one is on my degree. I think hackathon on AWS engineering. Like I think this time we were doing about what is it? Oh, we were doing about something about AI. Oh yeah, about fake news detector actually. It's actually quite quite dumb, our project, but this is a group of 4, I think, with my diploma friends. I think Madam knows Faris Sufyan, Khairul Nukman. Yeah. So with those folks lah. Yeah. So and then from there, I just want to share about all of these CTFs that I have entered. Actually helps me with my intern actually. With my job, and I think from CTF where I meet a lot of people that having the same interest as me, which is doing the article hacking. So if you want to know more people that have the same passion as you, have the same interest as you, definitely join the CTF lah. Yeah, you'll know a lot of people there actually. So yeah. So can we take 5 minutes? Maybe anyone have any questions? I see a question about certification. Yeah, I think is it after this? Let me see. Yeah. After this slide, we'll talk about certifications. But before that, anyone have any questions? Maybe Damia, you have any questions?
Okay, so if questions for me, I think related to all the achievement that you've done so far. No, not so far, during your degree time and so on. So like you said that all the competition that you joined somehow helped you to your internship and even your current position. So in what, how do I say this? In what ways actually it helps? The knowledge or the experience to work with your colleagues or anything related to that?
Okay. How it helps? Okay, it helps me in a lot of ways. First of all, okay, in my case okay, I've won a lot of this. I think all of this I've won to first place to third place. I think around this all of this. So that's actually created my name actually in the industry. People because I win back to back and back to back. People knows my name because same guy, same guy, same guy still top 3 and stuff like that, right? So that's where the industry people see as well. Not only that you win, but it's about your visibility to the industry. Your tell you to the industry people, hey, I'm very good at doing this stuff. Please notice me and maybe consider me to hire you in your company and stuff like that, right? And that's what exactly happened in this case I mean, if you didn't win pun, doesn't matter actually. It's of course you won't get the visibility that I have back then. Okay, because it definitely helps me to I mean, when I was looking for intern I have a lot of offers here and there from big company, from a lot of places, just because I made a name from CTF, just because of that. And then from that also, it helps me, what is it called? It helps me to count to make a negotiable for my salary. Yeah. So this kind of thing helps me in a way that not only in visibility, helps me to start on my a good starting good salary. And I think starting salary is the most important thing that you need to take consider of, because if you start on very low, right, so it's going to be very hard for you to climb lah. So you have to consider your time to do uh, to do to do the things that you do in your work. But also I don't want to say that money is everything lah, but come on, in this economy is money is a quite important thing, and you know you have to a lot of things that you need to pay, you need to stuff like that lah, you know. So money is quite important nowadays, I think. So yeah, CTF helped me in that as well, you know, visibility, salary negotiating, offers, a lot of job offers coming in after my degree. Even after my diploma also, I was being offered a lot of from different company. From Dell also, I got offer, but I think I was not ready for that actually, because I thought that time I thought I want Dell to be my last of my career. So I don't want to join Dell when I was so young and dumb and naive, don't know anything about industry. I want to join a company that I want to join later on, and that has the potential for me to stay a longer early on. So my thought back then was I pick company that that can bring me exposure lah, which Vigilant Asia can bring me that actually, because actually on my team lead, right, he's a Saudi Arabian people, which apparently I met from CTF actually, from playing a CTF. Yeah, so I think he's quite old. I think 4 years 4 years older than me, I think. Yeah, but then we entered the same CTF lah, CTF. But then I think it was I don't remember lah the CTF, but he was in Johor, I think, in Malaysia. So I met him, and then he masuk Business Asia first, right? And then he, after I finished my degree, I talked with him, and he said there's an opening in the Vigilant Asia. So that's where the networking comes in lah. You know people, but not really to the point that networking that you know people just because you know people lah. I mean networking to the point that you know people because you guys are doing the same thing lah. You guys doing have the same interests, have the same niche in the same industry as well, and that people acknowledge what you can do, and you acknowledge what they can do. So I would say that this my team, his name is Said Hashim. He's a very great leader, someone that I look up to. Teach me a lot of things, be it in technical, be it in my personal growth and everything. He's the one that I always ask if anything, I have any problems. So yeah, so I hope that's answer your question, Damien.
Yes, that's so much answering my question. So we actually received a couple more questions from chat box. So I would like to ask you if you want to answer it now, or you can proceed with the presentation first.
Okay, the question, okay, by Arif, right? So I think this one I can answer it now. Okay. Resources that are being leaked in GitHub and export DB that leak some tools. Because I think that everything not to do because of research. This. Wait, let me understand this question correctly. Okay. Okay. It depends actually. It depends. I'm not sure what's. May I know what's the. Okay. Actually, I think it depends on the. Depends on the paper itself lah. Of course lah. Script kiddies, beginner, hacker. many people out there that just copy and paste script and just launch it to anything. But that's exactly not the thing that you don't want to do actually. Okay, don't be a script kiddie. I would say this. Try to understand stuff actually. Okay, if you see like a link in GitHub, like in exploit DB or something, just simply like copy and paste and run it, and oh, it works. And what, right? And what? But you don't understand how it works. You need to understand how it works, because later on in your career, right? In your career, you need to do all of these similar kind of thing as well. You need to view, exploit. You need to understand how things work actually. So if you do that early on in your diploma days or in your early days, right, it will help you to build your mental model, build your thought process of how to think, how to approach these kind of things, rather than, oh, I have this kind of problem, how do I want to solve it? I just like jump up to ChatGPT and voila, solve. But you don't do anything. You don't do anything from your side, Of course, sometimes it gets the works done, but in the long run, and trust me, it wouldn't be helpful to you, I would say. So my advice is to any the public vulnerability tools, try to understand what the tool does, what the exploit does, and maybe build a lab actually, use a VM actually, and set up a lab for specifically for that particular vulnerability, and try to exploit yourself. That's what I did back then, but I think nowadays a lot of platform has that offers that opportunities where there's a new exploit right in the wild. The platform, for example, Try Me or Box, will create that particular vulnerability, and you yourself can play straight away. That's the beauty of what you guys have right now, lah. And I think back then that's the thing that I don't have. I have to do everything manually. I have to even set up my own lab to even study a new vulnerability that's coming out, So, but whatever you have now, use it wisely, utilize the Try Me. So you see, for example, a new attack vector coming out from the internet for Twitter, and you want to know about it, go Try Me, go to Hack the Box and see if there's any lab or challenge that has been created by other people, so you can study and play around that. So I think that will help lah. I hope that answers your questions. Yeah. Okay. The question is, how should a student go about students feeling overwhelmed? Okay. Okay. Feeling overwhelmed is actually it's a very subjective matter. So if you do feel overwhelmed, like in finding your niche, right? Maybe you can start. You have to ask yourself lah. Do you have time? I mean, what semester are you in right now? Are you semester 1? Are you semester 4? Are you in intern next few months? Do you have time? So a lot of consideration you have to take, so you can plan properly lah. So I think, for example, so let's say you don't have time. Okay, let's say you already accepted your intern application, maybe like it. Okay, so you didn't do anything. You didn't know what you want to do, your niche is. So maybe what I can suggest is during your weekend, maybe, or every night, after you finish whatever you do, your daily shifts, allocate maybe 1 to 2 hours, maybe try to pick anything. Just pick anything. You don't have to any significant attached to this. Just maybe you want to study web app pen test, right? Just pick it, pen test, and see if you like it. Go to Try Me and try to do search the web app pen test beginner course, and try to understand what is it like to do a web app pen test. Try to imagine if you're doing this, you're gonna like it for the rest of your career, because you do web app pen test lah, kan? Contoh, maybe you can try to read a technical blog. Maybe you can try to I mean in Twitter, mostly in cybersecurity community, like it's on Twitter actually, it's on X. So if you have X, do make a new account, I think, and make that specific for that account is specifically for cybersecurity only, and follow all of the seniors, all of the powerful people, smart people, genius people in this industry, and learn what they do, whatever they post, and you review it. Is something that relevant to you? It is. If it is, then take your time and study what how can this help you? How can this help you in a way for your development? So, for example, right? So you follow this dude. It's a very web application wizard, right? He's very good at. He's always sharing some custom malicious exploit to exploit the web application to bypass stuff, login stuff like that, for example, right? So you follow him. So every time he posts a tweet, right? So take a look. If it's a payload, then you try it by yourself. Do it manually by yourself and try to understand what's the payload trying to do. Even if you don't know what it is, I mean, nowadays there's ChatGPT, or even you can ask them straight away. I think ask them is better because it creates because you also want to network with them, right? So even though it's not Malaysian, it's from other country, it's okay to ask. Just be proactive lah in the community, and where you feel comfortable. Also create some content for yourself lah, Let's say you are doing some research on SQL injection, right? Tak kisahlah dia it's very beginners ke apa ke, but it's something that you learn recently, the new stuff that you learn. Just share it online, and just leave it there. Leave it there. And I think nanti lama-kelamaan you have this mental model of sharing whatever you found and you want to share, and that will help you on the technical block and stuff lah, technical writing, which is quite important. Skill set to have is technical writing. Okay, although you have you'll be very good at technical aspect like hacking and stuff, you need to also be good at technical writing as well lah. Okay, I hope that understand lah. So in conclusion, choosing the right niche without feeling overwhelmed is know your limit first, know your time first, your capability of doing. I mean your circumstances lah, I would say, because everyone have a different circumstances and different life, right? So manage your time lah properly. At least 1 or 2 hours per day is enough lah actually. Even you don't have time to do a technical hacking itself, right? Just reading a technical blog would suffice, I would say, because when you read, you will understand a lot lah from what people are trying to say. Okay, so okay, certifications. So after you know sorry, let me see. Okay, after you know your niche, which company you want to try target for, which roles you want to do, okay, you want to settle, and you have maybe you are still part 1 and you have. Okay, maybe later you have done a lot of CTF, you have entered a lot of CTF, right? Okay, so now is the time where you almost finish your degrees, right? Maybe diploma ke apa ke. So you're asking yourself what certification that you want to pursue, right? I think Arif asked me just now is the question is which of the ways of certification is better, right? In my opinion, it actually depends. Again, it depends. So I've bahagikan kepada 2. Okay, these 2 of I think Arif mentioned something about what is it called? One more to a degree cybersecurity. Okay, that one is an academic one. So I'm not too sure about academic path. Maybe Madam Zurati should know more about that actually in an academic way. So I'm talking about in the industry way lah, I would say. Okay. So yes, we can separate this between 2 lah. technical technical certifications, and also the bullet certifications lah, which is the I would say the theory part lah. Yeah, the theory. So on the right side is actually more onto theory punya cert lah. So okay, this kind of cert is highly wanted by a corporate company. For example, Deloitte, they will always looking for this kind of things. So if you, like I said, you need to plan again. If you want to go for Deloitte, right? For example, for Deloitte, so you need to know Deloitte is a big four company. It's a big corporate company. So ask yourself, do you need OSCP? Maybe OSCP is a universal actually. I don't know if you guys know about this. OSCP is actually a universal certifications that every cybersecurity red teamer, ethical hacker, later lambat laun pun memang akan ambil this kind of cert lah, OSCP. I have this cert for myself, and I think I got this cert during my diploma. I think because of got sponsored by I think I won some CTF, and the prizes is the cert lah, the cert itself, not money but the certifications. So yeah, so I have the OSCP from certifications, from CTF. But so when you're given a choice, which certification should you choose, or rather should you pursue? So again, all this is a offensive security punya cert, which is a very highly technical certifications. For example, OSCP is a 24-hour exam with the camera on. You cannot go anywhere. 24 hours you have to eat there and do your exam there. 24 hours doing the assessment and 24 hours doing the report. Okay. So, and you have to share screen some more in what you do. So yeah, so it's very strict. The assessment is very strict and very highly notable lah in the industry. So that's why the process is quite very tedious lah, but you have to follow. And then for OSCP and OSW is 48 hours actually, 48 hours of exam. So you can imagine lah how intense the exam will be, 48 hours, and you can imagine how hard it is. For example, I've tried OSWE actually. I think I've got the OSWE. I didn't pass the OSWE for context, but I do have the opportunity to take the OSWE from winning some CTF lah. Okay, but I didn't pass. I didn't pass the OSWE. I studied for 3 months, or so, and then I take exam for 48 hours. There's 3 box. There's 3 application that you have to conquer lah, to pawn lah, to hack lah, basically. So I only solved 2, but you need to solve all of them, all 3. So yeah, I didn't pass. So OSWE is a web application expertise lah, whereas OSCP is more to in general of hacking, I would say. OSCP is more to a malware development. Sorry, not malware. It's exploitation development. So for example, I think Arif just now mentioned about exploit DB, right? Exploit DB macam tools ke. That's where this OSCP focus on lah. The cert focus on lah. You will need to write a script. You will need to write a lot of coding in OSCP. Same as OSCP. OSCP is more to malware development. You will create a malware that can be. I don't know if you guys know about Mr. Robot. You know about Mr. Robot, Damia?
I think I've heard once, but I don't know any context of it.
Yeah, so Mr. Robot is actually it's a hacking series from the American hacking series. So I believe that that series is by far the most accurate what a hacker could be lah. Yeah, I would say. So if you're interested, you can watch Miss Robot. They shows how a hacker do their own, how the hacker do their stuff, how they do stuff. Actually, they even shows exactly the terminal, the Kali Linux terminal. They show exactly what it is, the command line. So I would say it's very accurate lah, I would say. And this offset is actually uh, more related to what Mr. Robert shows lah in the series. So yeah. So back to the questions to Arif, right? He asked about there are two ways that I found to be a certified ethical hacker. First is like CH or from TIA, and one is through degree. Okay, through degree is I think it's more to academical way lah. I would say if you want to be a lecturer or a teacher or something, right? So I don't think it's quite relevant into the industry. You don't need to have such an extent amount of or master in cybersecurity. You don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. Industry you don't have to. Because in this industry is more to the technical stuff actually. So you mentioned about CEH and CompTIA, right? So CEH and CompTIA falls under this right side category. As you can see, it is not a hands-on punya certifications lah. It's more to bullet. So they will ask you, but they will ask you a technical questions lah. Like, okay, which within in this statement, which one is the valid SQL injection statement? That kind of thing. Okay. Maybe for example, more is scenario-based example, right? If you find a network with this port open, what tool should you use to enumerate more on this port? That's kind of thing that they will ask in this right side. Okay. I think the CISP one is exceptional. This one is for more to a managerial executive role. If you want to go for CISO or a manager in cybersecurity, then CISP is a must lah for you. This is a decision based punya exam lah actually. So the exam is like macam bagi tahu you macam in this scenario this, and then the answer is this action. But note that the answer is all correct, but the question is which one is the most accurate one. So that's the hardest part for the CSSP lah. You have to make the right decision. But of course lah, if you want to be a manager, you want to be a head of department, of course you need to make a right decision, right? So that's why the CSSP comes in lah. Okay. So to answer your question, Arif, CEH is more on the I would say more leaning towards the executive roles lah, I would say. Doesn't really expose you much to a real ethical hacking looks like lah. So if you want to go for ethical hacking, you want to go for more technical stuff, you will need to go on the left side lah. Okay. But keep in mind that this kind of certification is expensive. So you need to think lah how you're going to achieve this. So I think I was lucky back then. A lot of CTFs were offering a lot of certs, and also my company also offers some certifications. And so when your company offers you certification, I mean, not all company will offer you this kind of certifications. They will mostly often offer you this right side. Okay, this left side is more on. It's very hard lah. It's very hard to find a company to offer this. But I'm telling you this, in Brazil, Asia, you can choose this kind of thing. So if you wanna chase this certifications under using the company's money, then definitely go to Brazil, Asia lah. Okay, but of course lah, the interview process is not that easy, which comes into my next slide. Typical interview process. Okay, what should we expect on the interview? What kind of thing that you should know lah. Okay, so a lot of things that you can expect is during your job hunting, right? So let's say you got a lot of job offer, okay, and all of that job offer, okay, all of that have the technical assessment. hands-on assessment. So this, based on my experience, I think there's more. I don't think there's more. I think this is it really, because my friend also said the same thing as well, experienced the same thing as well. So number one is a hands-on assessment, which is you will be given a box by your hiring manager or hiring company, and they will give you a certain amount of days, or maybe 1 day, maybe depends on the company. In my case, masa dekat Digital Asia, I was given by Said a box. There's a 3 box he gave me. Okay, and trust me, the box is not very easy. It's not easy at all. I would say it's very hard, but that's not the case. That's not what site or the hiring manager trying to see. Okay, they are trying to see how you approach things. Like I said just now, how you approach maybe here, right? You have the box, right? How you do at the box, how you learn stuff, how you make your research will definitely be helpful in your interview process as well. So yeah, so the hands-on assessment, as of my experience, it's a real deal lah. It's a real, I would say, a real environment punya lab lah, box lah. I would say it's very hardened. It's not like simple like like doing CTF, right? Like CTF, like okay, you found this, and then you can figure out that this way is the way to go, something like that. So it's not. So in the real world, it's quite the opposite lah. You need to know. You need to think critically. You need to think like a real hacker, I would say. You know, how to exploit, how to see stuff that the developer or engineers took granted for. You know, basically a human exploit lah. If you know your developer, you know your how the trend in the code, right? How the trend the engineers, the developer create their code, right? So you can understand how they do their stuff. So for example, like I mentioned just now, in government, right? Government, healthcare industry, banking sector, insurance sector. Healthcare sector have a different kind of sets of ways of they do their system, and then government, by far the most easiest one to make an exploit to, I think, in my opinion. I hope I can say that here. Okay. And then the banking sector, like if you ask me about like CIMB ke, Maybank, Hong Leong Bank, the most conventional bank, they're quite outdated actually. So you'll be surprised lah how many low-hanging fruit that you can find, even if you being unethical for a moment, right? Can I talk about that? Can I talk about stuff, things that are unethical? No.
I think it's okay.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, so so let's say you want to do some, you want to explore some a bit unethical stuff, but keep in mind, do this at your own risk. Okay, you didn't get this suggestion or advice from me. It's totally on your risk. So you want to try to look at CIMB and bank, Maybank. You'll be surprised how easy it is, low hanging fruit that you can masuk dalam network, their network lah. You'll be surprised lah, I would say. So my point is, even in the banking, right, in the banking, like the old thing that macam Maybank ke, itu macam apa lagi, government side ke kan, insurance company ke, no system is safe lah. Okay? There will always be a attack vector, attack loophole that you can find anywhere. Okay, so back on to the hands-on assessment. After you make the assessment, right, for this hands-on assessment, you will need to create a full pen test report, which will then be reviewed by your hiring manager lah. So in this pen test report, right, so you have two ways of creating the pen test report. Either you wanna talk about how you from your like a CTF style, like how you firstly how you encounter the vulnerability. Why you encounter, and then what's your next step to do this and to do that. That's more on the CTF punya style punya pen test report. You can do that in the interview process. The other type of pen test report is actually the vulnerability report itself lah. So let's say you've during the assessment, right, you found multiple vulnerabilities, and maybe for example, number one is SQL injection that leads to remote code execution. Okay, and then number two is XSS that able to steal admin cookie, for example. Okay, that will lead to privilege escalations, and you as an admin from non-privileged to as admin. Okay, let's say you have these two, so you want to document it in your pen test report. So if you want to do it in a vulnerability report style, you can do it in you firstly mention the first vulnerability itself, the title, the topic, the title of the vulnerability, the description about what is the vulnerability about, and then you can talk about the steps of applications, how you do it, how you want to help the viewer of the document can replicate it. Okay, so this kind of report is being used in your career lah, which is from the vendor ke, in the end user ke. This vulnerability report is being used widely lah. Okay, so number two is a live hacking assessment. I've done this before. Actually, this one is an interesting one actually. I think this one is quite easier lah, I would say, live hacking assessment, because the box is, because what they want to see in you is actually just your thought process. So it's very important for you, if you ever got a live hacking assessment, right, is to explain your thought process. Don't just simply keep quiet and just do it and just expect that they tengok je kan, they tengok that you do the hacking. Right? Explain your thought process. That's very important. Okay. So I think, but the box, the challenge is quite easy compared to the first one lah. If you like they want you to come back later other day. So the live hacking one is quite straightforward. They just want to know your methodology, your approach, and your thought process. That's the main three things that you want to know. So keep in mind. So in the future, if you got a job hunting interview, identify which of these interviews types of interviews that you're being. I mean, you can ask the HR first lah. What kind of interview? Is that live hacking? Is it a hands-on assessment ke macam mana ke? You can ask the HR. So the third one is scenario-based assessment. This one is just more like macam cakap mulut je lah, I think. Cakap mulut as in like the hiring manager will talk to you about technical stuff lah. So for example, they will give you a scenario. Okay, I have this system and they this. I have this being coded this way. So they ask you, what's your approach and how can you find certain vulnerability? Then you have to explain it. It's just a similar way how you do this on the first two, right? But this one is might easier. And I think if you're good at talking, if you're good at goreng stuff, you can. But of course, don't goreng stuff that you don't know, okay? Because later on, they will ask you about the things that you speak. For example, maybe you mentioned about a cryptography lah, okay? And then you mentioned about cryptography something, but you didn't even know what cryptography is. And then later they will ask you, can you explain more about the cryptography that you mentioned about? Then you die already. You don't know how to answer, right? So be aware about your choice of word. Everything that you said will be used against you. So this is the trick lah, the scenario based. Okay. So luckily I'm being informed about this scenario based assessment beforehand. I asked the previous the one that my friend that ever interviewed, right? They asked they have a scenario based, and then they were goreng some stuff, and then the hiring manager were asking about the thing that he goreng, and he couldn't answer. I'll just thank him for letting me know lah. Yeah, I'll know from there that I will not goreng the things that I don't know. Okay. So I'm telling you now lah. So if you ever got this scenario based assessment, don't ever goreng the things that you don't know. Goreng only the things that you know. Okay. And yeah, that's the 3 types of interview process. Yeah. Okay, so I think we come to the conclusion. Oh, I surprised that I can manage to fit on time, 1 hour 45 minutes. Okay, I think that's enough for me. I guess this is the conclusion or summary of what we've been discussing. I'm not sure if you guys paham everything that I'm trying to say, but if you tak paham, this is the time for you to ask. Okay, Damia, please on you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Iman, for such an inspiring and information-packed session. So you're really given us a lot to think about, especially on how students can grow into a cybersecurity professional. So I think now we'd like to open the floor for our Q&A session. So to our fellow audience, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. We'll call your name and then you may unmute your mic. Or alternatively, if you're too shy, you can just drop your questions in the chat. We'd love to hear your thoughts on anything you've been curious about. But I think the first question might be from me actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my question was, we've been fed with the thoughts that either IT or even cybersecurity field itself is a male-dominated field.
Yep.
So is there a lot of female in cybersecurity field, even in terms of your maybe workplace? Are there a lot of females that pursue in this field?
Okay, I understood your question, but I believe I don't think that question is valid actually, because I know a lot of people that is my friends which is a female that very excel in this industry, be it in the technical, be it in executive. So I'm not sure how to answer this question. Actually, I think it actually depends on the people lah. Actually, if that particular, if you Damia, if you interested in IT, you're really passionate about IT, you're really passionate about IT, cybersecurity. By all means, why gender is stopping you, right? Okay, it's about it's about ourselves lah. I would say about the self mindset lah. I would say. And to answer your question, I know a lot of people. This is female. That's a very strong character, confidence character. I would say. I mean, more bolder than me. I'm not bold now. I think I'm just a bit introvert, a bit a shy person. I would say. And yeah, some it depends on people actually. Depends on the person itself lah. Sure. I hope that question your question, Damia. If don't, please let me know.
So we received a question from chat box from Ayu Nabila Azmi. So she asked about what's the role of mentorship in a cybersecurity career? Do you have any mentors, and how did they influence your journey?
Okay, mentorship. Okay, good question actually that I didn't touch. In my case, it's more of my peers lah. I met like I said, I joined a lot of CTF, right? And then I met a lot of people, right? And I met a lot of like-minded people like me, like interested on the same thing. Kan? For example, Sharil, I mentioned this now. I met him during diploma, but then we were on the same degree. I mean same UiTM, Shah Alam. And from there we were like macam partners lah. And then my other friend that I want to mention also, Ali Razali, Anik Fakrul, that I think I couldn't survive my years of cybersecurity journey without them lah. You know, because having a friend that doing the same thing, doing the same thing that you do in a deliberate way, not in a sense of macam, oh, you just do it once a week, but to the sense that yang all of you will do it every night till you didn't sleep. Every night you practice CTF, you practice, learn a new stuff, you make a new lab. So find someone that have that kind of same kind of interest. I think I would say would definitely help you and influence a lot of in your journey, I would say. So I guess I don't know. I want to say I'm lucky or no, but if you believe in yourself that you do things that you think are right, for example, that I only do CTF for masa mula-mula lah. I'll just do CTF just because I enjoy doing these kind of things. Good things will always happen lah. You know, that people will come. You meet a lot of people like macam like-minded with you. You'll meet opportunities that you couldn't even fathom to even imagine to being offered to you. So good things will come if you focus on yourself and let progress speaks lah. You know.
Okay, that's really encouraging, Mr. Iman. Yeah, it somehow shows that having the right people, whether mentors or simply those who guide us, can make a real difference. So,
Sorry?
sorry?
Sorry. Are you asking this now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have another questions from the
Yep.
audience, which is
Yep.
Hadith Zahid Ainuddin Zaidi.
Mm.
So he asked about, I heard it's hard to get a job in cybersecurity sector because they only want to hire people with experience. Is it true?
It is not true, actually. Actually, it depends lah. Depends. Like I said just now, if you take a look of, that's why I think this is the exact reason why I'm doing this sharing session lah. You know, for you to prepare um, your own um, your own planning lah, on how you plan. I mean, if you are part one or part two, right? I mentioned this earlier. You are very early. You are in a good track. Just focus on whatever I talk here, what I spoke nonsense here. Okay, just just plan your career and do maybe you can follow what I did lah. Maybe. But to answer Hadith's question, hard to get the job is actually depends lah. Actually, I would say if let's say in your degree, okay, you didn't do any of this, you just study, you just in your degree, diploma ke in degree ke, you just macam go with the flow. You bangun, you go to class, you buat assignment, and you tidur, and that's all. And of course you cannot expect much than that lah, actually, because you have to think about thousands of people can be like that. So you have to think about how can you be different, how can you be a bit extra from the others, which is, I believe that if you do all this, if you even think about any of this, I think you definitely be one step ahead lah from majority of the people here, I would say. So in experience, not really lah, I would say. I mean, back then I have no working experience. I only have a CTF experience, which I don't think that's a legit professional experience. But I still got approached by companies lah. So to answer your question, I don't think experience really matter that much lah. In this industry, it's about technical skills lah. If you can do really well in technical, and you can show that to the people in the industry, especially in the HR or whatever, in the hiring manager, you can definitely excel. You can definitely go anywhere that you want lah in the company. Yep. I hope that answers your question. So there's another one. Sorry. Okay. Damia, Adi is asking about military armed force cybersecurity specialist, which I have bad news to you. I know nothing about it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think most yang quite close yang I can give an example is CSM, Cybersecurity Malaysia. It's more to government punya side lah. But I'm sure about the military of
Hello, yeah, Iman. Sorry, as I requested previously regarding with their project, maybe can you little bit like tell them on how they can start their hacking practice, like using the try hack me, or give the name of platform, because their project is most towards they need to do pen testing, whether on website or they must develop a LAN setup, anything, and they must come out with a proof, and then they need to complete it. So even as I told you just now, I'm also trying to get. I understand a little bit on the try hack me, but just now you mentioned that you have started with the band box. Is it benta box, something like that?
Yep.
Maybe you can give a like a little bit like a guide them, because I feel that when they are completing this project, they will have a better view how they can become as you say script kiddies, little bit with a secure feeling to have a legal platform to practice to be learn on this hacking.
Okay. If I understand your questions right, is
Uh-huh.
to for me to maybe show a way to how they want to choose their project. Is it security project?
How where they can start like a platform to start, because they cannot simply go hack a certain website. So so t- show me, even my own self, show me and then show
Maybe
them. Mm.
Dr. Shamala is asking you to show hands-on.
Hands
Little
on.
bit, not too much, just little. I understand that try hack me is give a lot of hands on, but
Yeah.
even I also feel a little bit scared to
Like a demonstration.
little. Because my all my students join they
Yeah.
with the hope that they can get on that, they don't know anything on that, so then you have a lot of experience, you can say what type of tests can be done for this particular website. You can do this kind of pen test, or if in LAN you can do this kind of pen, like you are giving your knowledge to us.
Uh, I'm not sure if I can do hands on because I'm
uh,
actually on a laptop actually
uh-huh.
right now.
Never mind, I
Um,
can drop down or whatever you are saying. I don't mind.
yeah. Okay. Let's see. What can I say about this? Maybe. Um, I think so. You know about Try Acme, but then you don't know how to start on Try Acme. Is that the case?
Yes,
Yeah.
can say like that. Something.
Yeah.
Then you can say,
Okay.
see my student putting thumbs up. Yes.
Okay. 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 I understand now. Okay. Um, okay. Maybe. Hmm. Oh, even I want to log in to Try Acme, I also don't remember anymore.
If I like want to do website, what type
Yeah.
of testing that we can
I
do
see.
for
I see.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Maybe I can just say it lah. Okay. Okay. So in the website, actually, uh, what you can do to start in the website or any, for example, UFuture. Let me give an example of UFuture. Why don't us? I think just the interesting domain to explore. I think. So UFuture is um, it's a UITM punya forum lah kan. I think back then I don't know what you guys are using now. So you have a domain name, ufuture.uitm.edu.my, right? So how are you going to start with this? So normally, what you're going to do is there's a tool called Nmap actually. So Nmap, NMAP, is a tool. It's a reconnaissance tools actually. It's in the Kali Linux, Civic Linux, and this tool what they do is actually uh, so it will show you the what ports or what kind of service that a particular website is being used. For example, right, your feature maybe have a port 443, port 480, maybe sometimes it's being misconfigured somehow. It has a port 22 SSH, okay, and maybe they have a port 8000. maybe the system admin forgot to close the port 8000 that being used internally, but suddenly it's being exposed on externally from outside. Okay, so Nmap, this is where Nmap shines lah. Okay, you can find this kind of informations that you couldn't see in mata kasar lah. If you see the virtual.my, okay, but then you can treat Nmap is like macam assessment to one person. Okay, maybe Damia here, maybe I want to know more about her, right? So I use this Nmap tool to know more about her that she doesn't show, for example, right? So maybe when I use Nmap to Damia, I know, oh, she likes to cook, she likes to jalan-jalan makan. Okay, this kind of thing is like stuff that you can know lah from Nmap lah. So that's number one Nmap. For reconnaissance and other reconnaissance tools that you can use is actually assessing the web application itself, which is the buster, DIRB, the buster, and then Go Buster, and then FFUF, Puff, and then there's OWASP, Z, I think that one's a GUI one. So what this kind of tool is actually brute force the kind of I would say the web application itself lah. For example, like in ufuture.uitm.edu.my, and then sometimes if you notice, kan, sometimes ufuture.edu.my / students / and then a number, for example, kan. So what is /student / numbers, kan? So you might think as an attacker perspective, right? You might think maybe students numbers, these numbers might be a student ID. Okay, so how can you approach that? How can you use that particular information for your use? So basically, so you can imagine like this lah. /student / student ID, numbers, like number of student ID, shows you the result of details of that particular student. For example, Damia, right? Students / Damia's student ID. If I go there, I can see all of Damia's details there in that particular UFeature website, for example. So here is actually a vulnerability itself already. So how can I, me, a person, a normal student with no access at all, with no privilege, can access other information about Damia in the UFeature application? So here's the loophole already. So what if you macam, this is just a simple example lah. What if you macam brute force the directory itself, student / student ID? Okay, what if you brute force everything here? So you know student ID has macam ada format, right? 2020 and then some 6 number, right? So with this in mind, you can use a tool like FFUF. You can brute force everything single user in the UITM history, for the entire UITM history. You can see everyone's data. So this is actually a security issue already. So from there, you can imagine lah, the impact would be macam information disclosure of PII. I mean, why would someone like me have access information to Damia, so maybe other students, right? So another example is maybe on UFeature taking quiz lah, kan? You can change your answer after you submit, and then you can what is it called? You can see the answers in the UFeature when you're taking a quiz, right? That being set up by the whatever your lecturer, okay? So how are you going to do that? So there's a tool called Burp Suite. Okay, this tool is actually for web application and mobile application intercepting tools lah, actually. So what this tool does is actually so imagine from my phone here, I send a WhatsApp to this laptop, right? So there's a network packet that will invisible network packet that will go to my laptop, right? So imagine that Burp Suite is a middleware that can intercept whatever I send here before it reach the destination, which is my laptop lah. Okay, so in web application or mobile case, you can imagine it like macam a user request intercepted by Burp Suite into the server side, which is the future lah in this case. Okay, so I believe you guys learn Burp Suite, right? Or do I explain it too much?
Haven't. But
Okay.
they know the data packet, the
Yeah.
traveling, all already.
Yeah. So here's the thing. What Burp Suite offers is actually tempering the data packet itself. Okay, tempering uh, things that you wouldn't able to be tempered at first place lah. Okay. For example, maybe I send to Damia, hello Damia, my name is Iman. But then someone intercepting using the Burp Suite tool, because my request is being accepted right to the Burp Suite. Someone changed my message to hello Damia, my name is not Iman, something like that. And then Damia will get that tempered message. So that's what Burp Suite is lah. So in web application, Burp Suite is the main tools lah that you will use. You will use widely entirely on mobile application testing and web application testing. Okay. So that's why it's on web applications lah. Okay. And then I think more on that is actually you can do a lot more by, I think, what's it called? SQL map. Do you know about SQL map? I think you guys know about SQL map. Right? SQL map is just a tool about automating SQL injections lah. So for example, in a request, in web application request, right, you find something like a login page ke apa, that when you put an apostrophe, they given an error, something like that. So but you too lazy to do it manually, you can use SQL map lah. Okay, to automate all of the payloads yang orang dah pernah ada. So, dia akan run lah benda tu, and then you give you the exact results lah from the scans. But of course, if you want to use SQL map, it's fine. But like I said earlier, know your tools, how the tools being made, and study your tools lah. I mean, you can use your tool to automate and make your life easier. But if you know how to do it manually, it will be very helpful to you. That's the tips here actually. Yeah. So is it okay for web application? And mobile?
And then is there any website that we can use it as a platform to do the testing? You maybe you know.
Yeah. Here, if you can see here in hack the box. Wait, you mean website to do legal pen test?
Yeah.
I don't think there is as far as I know, but I believe that hack the box and try Acme.
Hack the box.
Yeah, hack the box and try Acme definitely covers that lah. But you can just go to try Acme and just search some web application beginner's guide. They will definitely show you how step by step what to do firstly, what to do next if you want this. So go. I think try me and hack the box covers everything. What you're trying to achieve here actually. You don't have to find a legit website or that you can try or whatever. Yeah. I think try me covers that. Yeah.
So Iman itself, when you go for learning process, is like you didn't start with learn by own self. You go for some kind of like a try hack me, go over there, follow their step. That is your process of learning. Am I correct? Or you have a, because mostly the one you share with us, your career towards your hacking life bring towards to your career. So maybe when I thinking about from student perspective, I feel like maybe you can say the early stage, the more to technical perspective, how you learn on the process to enter to here,
Yeah,
like
understood.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, how I learned back then was through brute force, through trial, a lot of trial and error. I do hack the box back then a lot. Um, um, uh, Basically, I do a lot of I spend a lot of time on my header box lah. Like sometimes I stuck on things that I will stuck like to like weeks and months that I was stuck on that particular things. But I don't think that's a problem now because now it's more like lenient way that that this platform can boost, can make your pace faster lah. Back then, Hack the Box was not um, what Hack the Box is currently now. Back then, it was very barebone. They give you a box, you just hack the box. That's hence the name, Hack the Box. Um, so yeah, my point is the way I learn is through trial and error, through a lot of sweat, frustration, tears, headache, a lot of things. And sleepless night, I would say. I didn't sleep for like what, I don't know, 1 2 days. Like I only slept 2 3 hours. Even tomorrow got class also. I I really put myself in hell lah back then. I would say, you know, yeah. So yeah. But so to answer your question is it's always back to the person itself. Do you have um, the willingness to do all this, the willingness to learn all this, to achieve what you want in the future? Do you have that? You don't have that? It's gonna be hard lah for you. So you will tanggung that your laziness now in the future lah, I would say. Because later in the future, like I said in the mention, like someone mentioning about no experience, like so you have no experience. I mean, you didn't do any of this, hence you have no experience at all. So then you're gonna be pay for that price of having no experience at all during your job hunting. Yeah. So if you do this in the early stage, you'll definitely have the experience one. So then in the future job hunting, you'll definitely uh, have the extra, have the early step lah from the other, have the, you'll be a bit different lah from other students or any other job lah, I would say. Yep. I hope that answers your questions.
If nobody have question, I got a lot of questions in my mind.
No worries. Please.
Since you say that, maybe you can give them an advice. Like nowadays, kids like mostly they would like to spend their time on the phone. When the way you say it just now, I feel like your entire life is not on the phone, on looking on the entertainment parts. You are putting your effort, your phone, to gain the knowledge. Maybe since you are still in a student part, maybe you can give maybe your words can touch their heart as what they are doing is correct or not correct.
I would say I didn't. I think I didn't anggap this like a very like a macam formal things like that I do. This because for me this is my entertainment. For me this is my game. For me this thing that give me the dopamine rush, I guess. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I mean, I also play games back then a lot. I mean, I think I play games a lot dekat Sempana Riau, I think. Yeah, I play with my friends too, every day. But still managing times. Yeah, I also play futsal, depan, entah, tak ingat lah. Yeah, so yeah, my point is I didn't take this as my point of view for this is actually it's fun for me. This kind of thing is fun for me. So maybe you can rewire your brain. Oh yeah, speaking of rewire your brain, I want to show you something here actually. So this is actually my notes, actually my personal notes that I've been created from I think this one is from my degree years. I think I have a new one. So this is what I call second brain actually. So to answer your question, like how can we be more organized? How can we treat our life as a game? I guess to make it more interesting. You can search about second brain lah using Para. So you can see here this graph is actually all of my things that I do lah, my notes. Let's say that I'm studying some stuff, right? So I will put notes here, and then later tomorrow I'll be studying another stuff, and that stuff is related to this stuff. And I will link it. So by time that this second brain will become so huge like this, I mean it's not that huge, but you can, because I think our brain is not for what's it called, for storing information, just about processing. So I think using this method, second brain with Para, can help you organize your thoughts lah, and at the same time make your brain more empty, and you have a lot of things that you can do, which is hacking, I guess. Yeah. So I also want to suggest a book that I read for like 4 years now already, and I keep reading it multiple times. And this book is I cannot emphasize more. This book is actually very good. Please read it if you can find it. Just find it online. Just Google it. I would say it's a good book lah. So yeah. Sorry. Back to your question. So yeah, my point is fun lah. It's fun for me.
Thank you.
Maybe we can ask Damia. Does she think? Do you find it fun doing stuff like this?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I would say 50-50.
50-50.
I'm not really into this, but I do enjoy other sort of entertainment as well. But it's not like too much balance.
I see. That's my point being just now lah. It's about the individual itself lah, whether the willingness that they have lah actually. So in CTF I met a lot of like-minded people, like willing to not sleep just because of this. So yeah, it's fine for us, I guess.
I think there's one question we haven't settled.
Yep.
Muhammad Naim. Now, Damia, maybe you can carry on the question.
Yes, please. Is it okay if it will be our last question?
Yep, can.
Okay, so for Muhammad Naim Muhammad Hussein, how do you display willingness to adapt and learn to future employers?
How do you display willingness like that? And then, I think it's becoming proactive lah in whatever you do in your career, like in your work environment. Be proactive in whatever you do. Show that, especially to your boss lah, of course. Let people know what you are trying to do, and what's the thing that you learned so far. Be very proactive. So, for example, you are solving some problems, right? Be proactive. This is my suggestion. This is my takes on this particular problem, and this is how will I take to solve it. And then ask for their opinion. What do you think? Which is your boss lah, and ask him, what do you think of this? And most of the time, if they agree, they will agree with you, and they will raise it to any higher member board ke apa ke. If you don't agree, they will say it, and you will discuss more on that lah. But that's fine lah. But then to display willingness is to show yourself lah, to say. To be able to communicate. Yeah, communicate is a important skill set that I learned along the way. I think you guys realize that I don't really excel in talking that much, but yeah, still learning. Yeah, I think communication is very important, and how you speak and how you explain stuff might help you in the long run for the employers. Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. So I actually said that was the last question, but I have this one question that from me itself that I really wanted to know.
Yep.
So you mentioned you work with someone. I'm not sure his name, but he's from Arab.
Yep. Saudi Arabia. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that he's a international graduate, right?
Correct.
So how? So I'm just wondering, how do local graduates compare in terms of mindset and skills rather than local international graduates?
I see. Oh. Mm, I would say sometimes it depends on the circle of the circle. I cannot like really say like all local students are like this and all international students are like this, right? So it depends on the circle of that particular group. So for example, like there's some people that I know out there in the industry, right? Some certain of groups, they are very macam I would say their mindset dia macam more to more to more to flexing, I would say. Okay, this is a industry local industry, more to flexing like what they what they earn ke, where they work ke, something like that. More, but when it comes to discussing about things that matters the most, that macam technical stuff ke apa ke, they always keep quiet. They don't know anything about that. So there's people like that, but there are also people um, like to discuss this kind of thing, like make a CTF questions for students like you guys, give back to whatever we we couldn't gotten back then. A lot of interesting CTF questions. There's a community as well for that. I think one of it is Sherpa then MCC, GCC. If you heard about it, there's a community regarding that also that encourage students to be more active on CTF lah. I think majority and doctor can take note of the this community lah. Sherpasec, GCC, MCC. Maybe you guys can expose more on the diploma and maybe revamp a bit how the structure of the syllabus ke apa ke. Like maybe include CTF as a part of requirement for project ke apa ke, I don't know. It'll be interesting, I guess. I think, yeah, because nowadays I think there's a lot of CTF. So in compare international students, I think they are very straightforward. They are very whatever they are asking for, they are very straightforward. But I also met someone that international people that they are very lazy to do their job. So again, it's subjective. It depends on the people. You cannot like stereotype this on like in general. Yeah. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I guess this is the end
Uh,
for the
uh,
Q&A. Oh, ada
Im-
someone last?
I have one last question from my side.
Yeah.
Since all of the student is a diploma student,
Yes.
maybe you can say how important for them to further up their study for degree. So then it will give awareness that they shouldn't think that diploma because some of the questions saying that don't experience. So maybe your view of point, why they should further up for degree. That's only last from my side. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So degree is very important actually to pass the screening process for the HR process actually, because most of the company will not take you if you don't have degree. But unless you are very perform, like you have a lot of certification and you are very excel in technical assessment, in rare cases you can be accepted in in the company lah. But in most cases, it's very hard for the company to take you if you have a diploma only. So so study, uh, and also make sure that you finish your degree lah. I mean, you go in degree and finish your degree lah. Because degree is quite important as well as the technical skill as well nowadays. Because the HR, most company will need degree. If you don't have degree, you cannot work. I guess it's very hard lah for nowadays.
Okay, thank you so much for the explanation. So
Thank
I
you.
think this end for the Q&A sessions, right? So
Yep.
before we end, we'll like to kindly ask everyone to switch on their cameras for quick group photos as a proof of participation and a memory we can cherish. And do take note, fellow audience, that we have attendance link in the chat box. So do fill that form. But for now, we're taking photos. So please, fellow audience, can
There is one more question. Maybe
Yes. What is it?
uh,
yeah,
we entertain the last question.
last
Okay.
question. So Izzat Harith Abdul Rauf, can I know what is the tip for the beginner to involve in the cybersecurity field and to land a job in GX Bank?
Tips for the beginner to evolve cybersecurity. The tip is to be good at what you what for example is you want to be an ethical hacker, so you must be very good at it. There's no shortcut. You have to go through all of this pain. Unfortunately, there's no shortcut of you because to land the interview process for JS Bank also is quite hard as well. Like, yeah, I think I didn't mention this for GX Bank, right? They literally have this life hacking and scenario based assessment for the interview assessment. They have 5 phases of interview assessment. So you can imagine how strict their selection is. Yeah. So to excel in the I mean in our line of work, in our industry as ethical hacker, the technical interview is the most crucial part. Okay, it's okay if you cannot hack the box ke, you cannot own the full box ke, you didn't get root or anything, but it's important for them to know your thought process, how you think. The only thing that they want to know is your how you think, how you solve your problem. Okay, because at the end of the day, when you want to work with someone, you don't want to work with someone that just listen to whatever, to listen to instruction. Yeah, of course we have to listen to instructions, but we also need to have to be proactive and to be a be a problem solver lah, actually. So yeah, in order to work at GX Bank, you need to work on your on your behavior, your technical, your thought process, and also your critical thinking. That's the most important part, I would say. So yeah, and if you have all that, if you covers all that, I believe you definitely can land a job. Not only in GX Bank, I believe anywhere you want, you can land it.
Okay, thank you so much. So can we proceed with, is there any more questions from the audience? If no, we'll proceed with the photo session. Then we can end this early.
Iman, maybe you have to unshare first.
Oh, okay. So, all right. What
Okay. Oh, fellow audience, please turn on your cameras. No need to feel shy.
All the students, please on your camera. We already mentioned earlier, please. This is your first early stage of become more brave, okay? Before become pen tester.
Yeah.
Hadis Zahid saya tak nampak pun. Okay, jom buka kamera.
Damia, you will take the picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Any more? Any more students? I will change the settings first. Sorry. Change layout. Okay, please wait for a moment. Sorry. Okay. So everyone, ready? 1, 2, 3. Allah. Okay. One more. Wait. 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 Okay. Another one. What? Allah. Hi. Wait. Sorry. One. Ya Allah. Astaghfirullahaladzim. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Madam, is 2 okay? Or you need more?
Okay. Semua nampak jangan lupa attendance. Please fill in the feedback form. Okay, given in the chat box. Dr. Syamala dah share ke?
Dah.
Okay. So Iman, maybe next time boleh panggil lagi. Next time live demonstration.
InsyaAllah.
Ya.
InsyaAllah.
Call for give a demonstration kan. Penceramah got kind of like a student are excited. As they say, they don't have mentor. They have somebody, they have the feelings, but they don't know from where to start. So alumni student, they can come and give them more knowledge, motivate, like your speech, I kind of feel like a somewhere touch their heart, how important is the hard working throughout this webinar, even my own self.
Yep.
And I feel thank you so much for your from heart knowledge. Thank you.
You can definitely plan that lah. Maybe next time.
Okay, we'll plan for next time insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah. Alright. Thank you. I will say thank you to everyone here for joining.
Okay, for our closing speech, if you don't mind. So, on behalf of the organizing team and UITM, I would like to sincerely thank everyone who joined us today. A special thank you goes to Mr. Irfan for generously sharing his personal journey, industry experience, and invaluable advice. So, to all student participants, may this session spark your curiosity and motivate you to explore the vast opportunities in cybersecurity. So, stay curious, stay ethical, and who knows, the next penetration tester in this room might be you. So thank you once again, and we wish you all the best in future pursuits. Assalamualaikum and have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you, Iman. Thank you, Irfan, Nuriyati. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Damia.
Thank you to Madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Iman dah
you.
keluar. Semua nanti saya check semua dah bagi attendance ke tak. Okay, I kena tunggu sekejap sampai dia orang keluar. Kalau Puan Zuati dengan Damian nak keluar, I okay je. Thank you, Kak.
Syamala, jangan lupa recording tu kena end dulu kan?
Ya.
Lepas tu nanti kita upload kita hantar ke Komu lah the video link.
Stop kan?
Stop dulu.